Coming to paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, A Thorn in My Side. The man who rules the world takes on an agent from the CIA from the Black Boule in this action-packed all-new John Haynes series adventure. Pre-order your copy of John Haynes' A Thorn in My Side at Amazon.com and other online booksellers. One of my viewers wanted to know if white men were the original simps and original baby daddies. And the answer to that question is yes, the white man is the original simp, and he's the original simp because he submits to the white female as related to preserving his system of white supremacy, and he needs to submit to the white woman because gynocentrism is the foundation of the entire institution of white supremacy. Now, the whole relationship between this white man and this white woman in white supremacy is a codependent one, and it's a codependent relationship where the white male needs to go out here and elevate the white woman to a higher artificial place in society and give her an artificial place of high social status in society in order to preserve the lie that the white man is the one who has power and the one who is supreme. But the whole thing is his whole supremacy is based on elevating that white woman to a position of artificial power. And again, they need to keep that white woman in that artificial position of power in order for them to maintain the entire institution of white supremacy. Now, the white men put this white woman on a high position in an effort to protect that white woman and protect that white woman so that, one, they can go out here and ensure that not just that their seed is protected, but also ensure that the values that they have of white supremacy are protected, because the woman's place as related to the system of white supremacy is all about preserving the culture of white supremacy, because the white female is the first teacher of that culture, and as the first teacher of the culture of white supremacy, her job is to ensure that the whole culture of white supremacy goes on. When she goes out here and has children, she is the one who teaches the culture of white supremacy to those children, and those children basically are taught from birth to go out here and submit to the white woman, because she is the one that has the power in the system of white supremacy. She has power over that system. And again, because the men go out here in gynocentrism and look to submit to the woman and look to make the women happy, again, because they need her to be the teachers of that culture of white supremacy from generation to generation, and ensure that those white males learn who has the power, and who has the power is not the white man. No, who has the power is the white woman, and that's how most white men basically grow up to become simps, because they learn gynocentrism from an early age, and as they're learning gynocentrism from an early age, they are learning from an early age that it is the white female who has the power and not the white man. The white man is just an enforcer of gynocentrism and an enforcer of gynocentrism because he basically, again, wants to ensure that his values and culture are preserved, and the only way to ensure that the values and culture of white supremacy are preserved are if the white woman is elevated to a safe space where she receives the most privileges and the most advantages in society. And as she receives the most privileges and advantages in a society, she basically can preserve that culture of white supremacy, even if there are people challenging the white males. The white females are the ones who are protected, and they are the ones who basically are defended no matter what. And examples of that gynocentrism can be shown throughout history here in America, especially with black people. I mean, the examples of this simping as related to gynocentrism can be shown with the terrorism that many foundational black Americans suffered during the time of Jim Crow and even during slavery, where these white men would go to extremes to protect this white woman and go to those extremes because, again, this woman not only was the one who was going to be carrying the seed and the progeny of these white men, but more importantly was going to be teaching the values of white supremacy from generation to generation in this codependent relationship. And in this codependent relationship, the white woman was given power, and the white men gave her that power because they wanted to, again, try to prevent their own genetic annihilation. And the only way that they could maintain their power was, again, to give their women the things under the system of gynocentrism that they could benefit from as related to this privileged position in society. And these white men, again, have elevated this woman to a high position to the point where they were terrorizing black people and terrorizing black people in events like the lynchings as related to black men during slavery, because these white men wanted to preserve their seed and their progeny and their culture of white supremacy. And they did this through, again, terrorizing slaves during slavery, again, especially looking to castrate and emasculate black men, and because they feared that the black man would have power, and if he had seed, he would be the one to basically, again, end their bloodlines and end their legitimacy as related to their power. This is what the fear that the white supremacist has, and when it comes to the white supremacists, this is why they go up in arms regarding black people having economic power, like when we had towns like Black Wall Street and Rosewood. And this is where the white females' insecurities basically led to them looking to use their gynocentric power to make allegations against those black people. And this was the thing that they used to go out here and rally these beta white males to go out here and terrorize black communities like Black Wall Street and Rosewood, because these white women, again, they receive benefits from the system of white supremacy, and they basically could use their gynocentric power to go out here and rally these white men to go out here and participate in an act of terrorism based on lies, because these white women know that their power is protected by these white men who, again, submit to the white woman, and again, submit to the white woman because they need her in that codependent relationship to maintain their whole economic status and social status in the world. If it wasn't for the violence of white men, these white women would know that their place in the world would be at the bottom of the world, which is the artificial place they put black people in. So that's one of the reasons why white men are big-time simps. They're big-time simps because they desperately need that white woman, and they need that white woman in, again, that position of artificial elevation to preserve their lie as related to their system of white supremacy. They need that white woman, again, in that codependent relationship in order to preserve their power base. And that's why many white men are big-time simps, because this is the culture they grew up in. This is the culture that they learned. This is the way they've learned how to live. And again, the biggest simps are the white males. And again, white males were the original simp because their system of gynocentrism is the thing that the way they can maintain their power. And again, this is a system outside of God's order, which is an interdependent system, because in God's order, again, God is the head, Jesus is the ruler of the earth, man is the steward of the earth, and the woman is the helpmeet, and each one has an interdependent responsibility in God's order. But in white supremacy, there's a codependent dynamic, and again, this codependent dynamic is about white power, and again, keeping the culture of white supremacy, maintaining the lie of the system of white supremacy. And again, this is why these guys are the original simps, because everything with them is about maintaining and preserving a lie, and why the white supremacist, again, does not want to be in a order of accountability like God's order, but a world of lies. And in that world of lies, the white male basically, again, looks to submit to the women, and the women basically prey on him and prey on him, and this is how they wind up on the road to being the original baby daddy. Because, again, the system of white supremacy is not about the institution of marriage as related to God's order. It's not about the following the rules as related to God's standard. No, the system of white supremacy is about whatever white men think is power and whatever white women think will get them power. And again, there are no rules in the system of white supremacy outside of the unwritten social rules that they create for black people. Again, you have to understand with the white supremacist, he has rules for black people, but he doesn't have them for himself. And this is how you get all of these guys being baby daddies, because like they are the original Pookie, again, the original whoremonger male who goes out looking to gain sexual access to white women, basically to elevate their social status. And they look to elevate their social status, and they'll sleep with just about anyone because they don't really respect the institution of marriage outside of it being a business transaction. No, the only reason why they want to get married is basically for business. And again, when it comes to these guys, yeah, they'll have a wife as related to building wealth because it's a business transaction. However, when it comes down to these men, they will, for the first ones to have concubines, side pieces, and even just women, just for the sake of having women. They never really were about committing to anything except they're trying to maintain their legacies as related to white supremacy. And that is shown basically how they basically treated slaves in all across the globe, and especially here as related to chattel slavery in America. I mean, the white man was the original baby daddy. He was out here not going out here having sex with the slaves, and again, going out here having sex with the slaves, creating these biracial children, because he basically, again, just wanted to go out here and just have sex with whoever he wanted, and even in some cases even had sex with men on the plantation. He basically didn't see people as people, he saw people as property. And again, this guy, as he was out here, he was having sex with the slaves, and again creating these biracial children, and those children were his children, but he sadly, because of his system of white supremacy, did not want to see them as children, and basically was a baby daddy to those kids, did not even care about those kids. No, those kids were just objects to him. And even more disturbing than that is that the slave master, and even some of these overseers, they not only had sex with the female slaves, they also had sex with their very own children, which nobody wants to talk about, their own daughters. And again, they don't want to talk about this because they didn't even see their own daughters as people. Again, this slave master was the original baby daddy. He was a completely disgusting sexual deviant, and that's the part nobody wants to talk about regarding the white man. But I talk about it a little bit in one of my upcoming books. And the whole thing is that when it comes to this white man, he's the original simp. He's the one submitting to the woman, and always looks to give the white woman power, even right now in movements like the Me Too movement. I mean, even in the Me Too movement, he's still looking to give that white woman a pass, even though she has gone too far, and will always look to give this white woman a pass, because for the white man, his ultimate goal is preserving the institution of white supremacy. And again, in order to do that, he needs a woman to be able to be the one who sets the direction for the race and has the moral position, or I would say immoral position. Again, I'm paraphrasing the old African proverb that originally says, a race can rise no higher than the moral position of its women, and as the woman goes, so goes the race. And in order for white supremacy to go on, he needs the white woman to have an immoral position, and he needs the white woman to have that immoral position to ensure that the race goes on. So that is why the white man is the original simp, because in gynocentric culture, this is how he preserves his power. This is how he preserves his power and preserves his society. This is how he preserves his order as related to things. And this is what many black people don't understand about the white man being the original simp, because him being a simp is again all about maintaining the institution of white power, and that institution of white power is preserved by the values that white women are taught. Now, this was a video requested by one of my viewers, and if you want to request a video, you can leave a donation for a minimum of $15 to the PayPal or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. And if I know something about that subject, I will make that video for you. And if you want to pick up some of my books on the SJS Direct imprint, you can find them on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them at other online booksellers like Draft the Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes' Illuminati. A man who rules the world takes on the head of the global elite in this all-new action-packed John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes' Illuminati in paperback and e-readers at Amazon.com and online booksellers everywhere. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis, Dark Incubus. The goddess next door gets enthralled in a romantic entanglement with an evil incubus in this all-new Isis series adventure. Get your copy of Isis, Dark Incubus in paperback and e-readers today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Esteem, Horror in the Hamptons. The aspiring angel tries to escape a house of horrors in this action-packed, all-new Esteem series adventure. Get your copy of Esteem, Horror in the Hamptons in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.